All right, and we are back now for the main event. We have the Washington football team coming into our dear Allegiant Stadium. Currently, the Raiders are, excuse me, 2.5-point favorites facing the football team. It's just weird to say that. And right now, we know that as of today, I believe Darren Waller is listed doubtful, so he will not be playing on Sunday, which means a big role for Foster Moreau. And Nick Kwiatkowski, Keyshawn Nix, Deshaun Jackson, and Josh Jacobs are questionable. I see the latter two of Deshaun Jackson, Jacobs being able to play. Kwiatkowski and Keyshawn Nix still nursing those knee injuries. And on the flip side, I believe just notable names, Logan Thomas, the main tight end for the Washington football team, is questionable, with Eric Flowers and Curtis Samuel as well on the offensive side, questionable going into this matchup. So we're going to stick to just the vibes we have from last week. I'm going to take the Raiders defense against the Washington football team's offense, and Micah will take Raiders O against their defense. So Micah, would you like to do odd or even, sir, as far as who goes first?
Absolutely, yeah. I am going to guess evens.
It is evens.
It
correct.
is evens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll let you go first. I always tend to go first in these things. You always end up kicking it to me, so you will get the first crack at it. Raiders defense against Washington offense. Andy, what do you got for us?
Great. Well, yeah, I will go first. Thank you for that. And I will start with the Washington football team's offense. So coming off a big win on Monday night, they played the Seahawks. It's a really wonky setup they have as far as the offense is concerned. Just a lot of, I think it starts with Taylor Heineke as a quarterback. He's basically younger Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think that's really who he plays like. It doesn't really make sense, but he's just like a baller. He's like the guy that you like having on. We just came off Thanksgiving, but Thursday morning Thanksgiving where you get together with the guys, you want that guy back there because he's going to be gritty. He's going to roll through some tackles and be able to push the ball down the field. So he doesn't have a great arm. I mean, to be perfectly honest, he can't really, you can tell he struggles with throwing the ball outside of the hash marks, towards the numbers, but someone that still makes it work. That's kind of what Fitzpatrick does too. So, I think you have him. I mean, really the two main focuses or vocal points for this offense and how the Raiders should strategize is really Antonio Gibson on the running back and also Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. So those two are the main threats. They try to feed them early and often with Gibson's going to get 20 plus touches, whether it's in the running game or also receiving. Throw a lot of screens to him. A lot of stretch running plays that they do with him. And then also Scary Terry. He's a threat down the field. That's really their biggest threat vertically is Scary Terry. But he runs every route. He runs from the slot. He runs from outside. He has a lot of it. They move him around too. And then also what I mentioned with Logan Thomas. Someone who has been a pretty productive tight end for them. He is questionable going into it. Has been banged up, but also a very big target for Taylor Heineke. So. They kind of just really control the ball, on the offensive side and they get first downs. They push it down. They have trouble scoring in the red area, inside the red zone. So you could see that's why they don't really put up a ton of points, but the offense is effective. I don't think it's as scary as offenses that we've faced with the Chiefs, Bengals, and also Cowboys that we've played the last 3 games, but definitely something that an offense that we can't take lightly. And two, the reason Heineke is able to be effective down the field when he can is because they have established the run game with Gibson. So it's an offense that we need to be, we got to make sure that we at least get them off the field, be able to take advantage of if we can score early like we did against Dallas. It's going to cause Heineke to force the ball. So that's where I do. I mean, not always optimistic about our defensive matchups, but the way we're able to stop the run, which we have done recently, I guess outside of Joe Mixon against the Bengals, but been able to stop the run and force the quarterback's hand, in those games, it's been Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott who stopped the run and had to deal with the passing game, So for this, I think they don't have a ton of weapons. If we can kind of push them into a shootout, which really is where we have excelled and won a lot of games. Like you've mentioned about the DC stat, throwing for over 300 yards. I think that's the type of game that we want to be able to do, is really get them down early to where they have to spread us out and take shots. And I know you'll touch on that with the offense, but it's going to be interesting to see what Gus Bradley does. We've talked a lot about it with kind of that soft cover 3 zone that he does. I don't know if that's really going to be that effective. More so to confusing Heineke a little bit, blitzing off the edge. Our run defense is going to have to stay up to par as we were last week against Zeke and against Pollard, but. As mentioned on the recap, that's because of what we were able to do on the offense side, really force them into kind of this uncomfortable offensive style where they couldn't really have take the time to establish the run. So I think that's what we're going to have to be able to force. Denzel Perryman hopefully has a ton of tackles like he always does. And really whoever matches up on Scary Terry is going to be big. I could see Casey Hayward, who McLaurin's not a very big guy. And Hayward does have experience playing outside and playing inside. So I could see them just saying, Hayward, you got McLaurin and we'll deal with everyone else, So Curtis Samuel is someone else on that receiving core who is questionable. And they also have, Adam Humphries, he's just another guy. So I think they have the 2 main guys that they go through, 3 if you count Logan Thomas. But really, I think the Raiders have potentially an advantage here to, hey, let's stop the run. Once they get into those passing situations, pin our ears back, send Nate Hobbs off the edge, create some havoc, and really get after this offense. So that's what I got for this side of the ball. Mike, I'll kick it over to you for the Raiders offense against the football team's defense.
Kind of like how our defense caught the Charger or the Cowboys at a good time last week with injuries. We're kind of catching their defense at a good time with injuries. Their biggest contributors on the defensive side of the ball are on the IR with Montez Sweat and Chase Young. They still got some pretty hefty dudes up in the middle, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. Where their defense has really struggled this year for the most part is kind of on the back end with their passing touchdowns, passing yards allowed, just the passing game in general as opposed to their run game. They have Landon Collins at safety back there. He did not participate in practice today. He is questionable. I believe it was with like a foot injury or something like that. So we'll see how much of 100% he is back there. But luckily for the Raiders, that their strong suit is their passing game right now, and I think that if we're going to have any success, it's going to be through the air. I would love to see Josh Jacobs get going. That would be fantastic. Washington football team is pretty good against the run. One thing their defense is good at is getting off the field for the most part. When they do allow touchdowns and stuff like that, a lot of it tends to be big plays in the passing game. So we really need to kind of take advantage of the down the field stuff. Hopefully, Deshaun will be good and he can kind of continue to build off of, his performance in Dallas. Hopefully we can kind of get Renfro going. Maybe Edwards can get back into this mix of producing, but I think we're going to have to try to take advantage of the short intermediate stuff and take some deep threats, deep shots when we have the chance to. It's hard to say what the running game to do. We've been so bad at it lately this year. We haven't been able to get things going. Like you said last week, Josh Jacobs had a good game last week, but a lot of it came from one run. So if that one run doesn't happen, it looks completely different. But I'm hoping that he can kind of get things going. Like you mentioned, he was questionable. I think he was limited in practice or didn't practice today, but I think we're going to have to see, Derek Carr lead this offense and sling the ball and spread it around. I'm kind of hoping that Foster Moreau has a big game. Waller's going to be out more than likely. I don't know if they've officially ruled it, but I know hasn't practiced all week and probably be like that for
he's doubtful.
a little while.
I don't think they rush him. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, yeah, you're good. But yeah, I'm hoping we see a lot of Foster Moreau working over the middle and then, trying to take some deep shots with Deshaun or, even Renfro, if they can kind of find him up the seam again. They can, they had that one big play against Dallas where he caught like a 60-yard pass. So maybe they can figure out ways to get him across the middle and open and whatnot deep. But yeah, I think we can very much go out here and win this game. I think that you said we were 2.5 point favorites. So basically, we're getting home field advantage
Yep.
is all it really is home field advantage. So I think the way their team has been, where they're at when you guess on how things are going to pan out, are very similar to us, where you're like, you don't know which animal you're going to get. So, uh, but I do think that we can go out here. I think we can win this game. I think we can win and beat them by a lot if we want to. If we don't step on our own toes, cause issues. But I think it's going to take DC going out there, slinging the ball around, getting Deshaun, maybe Zay Jones if Deshaun's not 100%, and just beating them deep, on a couple plays that really change the momentum of the game. So, yeah, I think the offense has a good chance to go out there and play well and dominate. But Washington football team's good at getting off the field. Their defenses, they're very, they rank in the top 5 in amount of plays that their defense has allowed and their efficiency on early downs. But they do rank kind of terrible on third downs, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But they tend to give up the deep plays and the long plays and big plays. And right now, DC's I think ranked first out of quarterbacks in deep pass efficiency, deep pass completions, something along those lines. So
And passing yards.
yeah,
So watch out.
let's let it cook. Let DC cook. I don't know if we want to do that because Rush got jinxed. Russ was jinxed as soon as that started to take wave in the national media. So maybe we'll not do that. But yeah, I think we have a big chance right now to help change the narrative a little bit about the Raiders. I think we can go out here. If we can dominate it, it'll set a big precedent on, where the rest of the season, how people look at us the rest of the season. So
yeah, no, I see them a lot similarly to the New York Giants, really, with their offense. It's a really stout, not stout, kind of stingy defense that they got good defensive play callers. Jack Del Rio's coming back to face the Raiders, which has been a headline, which I don't read too much into. I know you had to speak on it on the interview that you did, but it is what it is. I think the best way to just make that headline a non-headline is just go out and take care of business. So it's funny that you say that regarding the football team, the Washington football team and the Raiders. And they started 2-2 on the year, lost 4 straight, and then have won 3 straight. So as you know, with the Raiders, 3-2, right? Then we went to 5-2, then we went to 5-5, very similar with very streaky performances. Definitely you can call it a trap game or you can call it a get right game for the rest of the year for the Raiders. And I think we deserve that. Just ask coin flip guy. That guy knows what he's talking about. So let's get into final predictions. Here we go. As mentioned, Raiders are 2.5-point favorites at home. Micah, I'm going to kick it to you for your final score prediction before we get out of here.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are going to go out here and win this game. I think they are going to more than cover. I think they're going to win 31-21, 2-score W.
Love it. Yeah, I have Raiders covering as well, coming home with a dub, 27-20. I think the defense plays their game that they have, relatively consistently, where bend don't break, give the offense a chance to take over the game. Hopefully we can get into more of that, 6-minute offense, really slow the game down once we get up, hopefully 2 scores, and kind of take it home and really win a game that we're supposed to win. We should win this game. We're better than this team. I know that and can say it. So I think that this is a game we should win. I think we will, 27-20. Final prediction on my end. So, but that's all we got. Big week, guys. Okay, week 13. This is gonna be a doozy. Something that Raiders, obviously, it's a big game for them. Haven't been great at home, but need to take care of business ultimately.